There's an elephant in the room here at my place. It's trumpeting a message loud and clear, which is, what on earth am I doing reviewing a 32mm quartz watch? Before you shut down this video in disgust and load up your nasties of comments, hear me out here. Hopefully you can agree with me when I say that some of the bravest men and women in human history are and were soldiers. Particularly the ones that were sent out into the trenches to more or less fend for themselves through some of the most awful conditions imaginable, where human life was worth very little. The A-11 watch was designed as a navigation piece and a tool to survive the harshest climate imaginable, battle. They were rugged, utilitarian, and wait for it, 32mm in diameter. Yep. Everyone from a fresh-faced 18-year-old to a veteran in his late 20s wore tiny little watches like this very one I've got in for review today. To be honest, this is the main reason for me to review this soon-to-be-released watch, since I find this fact so interesting in light of the endless arguing about the perfect watch size. So is it really wise to release such a period-specific size, and in quartz at that, in 2022? Let's find out. Today's video is sponsored by Praesidus watches, and I would receive a small commission if you use the link in the description to buy any of their very reasonably priced pieces. I'm going to start with the movement today. Not that we can see it, but the Swiss Ronda 763 is what drives this watch. And I'm pretty confident that if this technology existed in the 1940s, they would have used it. If you've ever watched a war movie, the classic line, "let's synchronize our watches," means that little bit more when you become a watch fan. We all know that mechanical watches can lose several minutes a week, so if you're coordinating an attack or any sort of operation, the words "go time is at 0800 hours" could have disastrous results. Quartz, however, is far more accurate and requires very little maintenance in the short term. Handy if you want to make sure that everyone attacks at the same time. The A-11 spec dial had to be black and white with numbers. Legibility was more important than anything else for obvious reasons. If you Google A-11 watches today, you'll see plenty of dials that either look exactly like this one or very close to. We have a simple minute track with markings every 10 seconds and clear Arabic numbers from 1 to 12. The textured black dial should absorb any stray light, again an obvious choice. It is always such an eyesore with a seconds hand nowhere near hitting its markers. But again, we're not handling a Grand Seiko here, so I guess it's okay. The cathedral-like hour hands stand out clearly from the minute hand, so whether you're up close or far away won't make a difference telling the time, even on this tiny dial. One feature that is retained from the original through using this excellent Ronda 763 movement is the hacking. This was a requirement on the originals, so that you could in fact set exact time or make sure it was at least as exact as the watches of your brothers in arms. Moving on to the case, much like the original, it's no frills. The specs speak of surgical stainless steel, so I'll assume it is the ubiquitous 316L that's in use. Whilst this is pretty standard today, it's definitely a step up from the brass cases of the originals, as is the 50-meter water resistance. You don't have to worry about washing your hands or getting stuck in the rain wearing this one, but if you do ditch your jet in the Atlantic, perhaps put the watch in a plastic bag before doing so. The crown is a simple push-pull, but it is large and it's easy to grip. It's unsigned, which makes sense to me anyway, considering its function over form all the way here. Covering the dial is a double-domed K1 mineral crystal. You could argue that this is a step up from the acrylic of the original, but it would have been better to see sapphire glass here. That said, I believe the price of this 32 is going to be extremely competitive, since after all, the slightly larger ones already for sale would only set you back just over $200, and that's considering 5% of your money goes towards veteran organizations, according to the website. This green canvas strap is quick release, so if you do have any other 16mm width straps, it'll be an easy swap. It looks and feels like PVD leather on the wrist end, and the holes are also reinforced enough to make me think that this will last you long enough. The lume is not bad. It'll certainly be way better than what the originals had. So having worn this a little, I can definitely see the argument for wearing something so small that it will never be caught in anything, never be in your way, and easily slip under the sleeve or whatever you're wearing. And it's funny, I put my Lauria 38mm back on today and it felt huge all of a sudden. Does it have a place in 2022? If all you need is a simple but attractive watch and you appreciate the significant connection to history here, then I would have to say yes. Over time, this will get scratched up and worn and will look and feel even more authentic. And all you need to do is change the battery every few years. War is nothing to romanticize. The fact that people are dying every day still as I write this is nothing short of extremely aggravating. That said, we can respect history and our ancestors, and I think the point has been made. 32mm is not just for small wrists. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.